Good morning, top of the morning. Oh crap. Something fell, bro. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Best Up Weekly Podcast. I'm with Jamal. Jamal, good morning, man.
Good morning, man. How you doing?
Doing good. I'm doing good. Just waking up. We're going after it today, getting this early episode in. I'm excited, bro.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I think this is the earliest we ever recorded.
I know, yeah. I just happened to wake up extra early today and we were texting each other and we're like, why not just hop? I think we both have busy days today, so I was like, why not just hop on right now and get it going?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I like how you're starting to wake up a little bit earlier now. You're taking a little bit out of my book.
Yes, sir. Trying to, bro. Just trying to wake up earlier. Try to get more done. But I slept so good. Have you ever tried to sleep with those things that cover your eyes? Like
Oh no, actually, yeah, I have. I only tried it when I think I was on like on a flight or something like that. But other than that, not like at home or anything. But on the flight, yeah.
For sure. I never tried it. First time I tried it was last night, and it actually was nice. Like I slept so good.
Really? That's dope.
I just got right up.
Yeah, I
But
never really tried it at home. Always done it like not always, but I have done it before on a flight.
cool, yeah. I know they have them on the flight. I don't know if I tried it on the flight, but we randomly had one in our house, so I was like, I'll try it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just getting this day going. I was reading a little bit of spiritual. I have this like spiritual book about faith that I try to follow. It's made to do actually with families. It's like, topics and it's just like a lot of inspired questions to, ponder yourself and to ask your family. But there's also like a section you can do it by yourself. So that's what I was up to this morning, trying to get a little spirituality in. Um, but I wanted to ask you, man, about just the importance of prayer in your life and like receiving answers to prayers, and like seeking wisdom, seeking revelation from God. So that's kind of what I felt like I wanted to ask you about.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah. Do you have like what comes to mind when you hear that? Like, because for me, when I hear like seek wisdom, it's like seek God through the Bible or scriptures, those types of books. And the number one way I feel like I receive answers to my prayers, just me personally, is through reading like the Bible and scriptures in my own time. I know there's a lot of other different ways, but what do you think for you is the way that you receive answers to your prayers?
The way I feel like I receive answers to my prayers is honestly like a lot of different forms. It could be through other people. It could be through it could be other signs. It could be like a song. You know what I mean? It could be like I said through the Bible. It could just be any messages that I see. I could be scrolling on social media or whatever, and I could see like a scripture or whatever that resonates with me. Or I could somebody could like I said text me or whatever, and just I could just see something that I needed to apply in my life. So I feel like God could work in many different ways. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and if anyone has like a big decision to make coming up, you know, and they don't really know what to do, and you have to pray to God to like figure it out. How do you feel like someone or you can prepare themselves for that spiritual experience?
I feel like if you have a relationship with God and you know who you are, then I feel like everything will be okay. But if you don't really, know who you are, where you want to go, or if you don't even have like, that strong of a relationship with God, then I feel like it could be a little overwhelming for you. You know what I mean? So I just feel like the closer your relationship are with the Lord, then I feel like the easier and more peace that, will bring for any decision that you may have to, choose. So.
Yeah, so like basically like doing your own part, right? And before you go to God to receive an answer, you have to know your personal identity, kind of know what you want, know what, you know, like know kind of what aligns with your life purpose, what's not.
Exactly.
And then,
Exactly.
right. And then after that, you have to like have that relationship with God, right? It's not like a one-time thing. It's like you have to basically nurture that relationship with God. So how do you like nurture your relationship with God? I agree with what you're saying, but so people can hear from you, you know, when they go in for that spiritual experience, and let's say they know what they want pretty much, they just want like some confirmation or really to make sure it's right from God. How do they nurture that relationship with Him?
To know that it is from God, what they're asking for.
Mm.
I feel, yeah, I feel like, honestly, just, um, I don't know, man. I just, like I said, if you get closer to God, and I feel like for me, what has helped for me is, like I said, every day when I start off my morning, similar like to what you said this morning, like how it is for you. I just try to, wake up earlier and just try to get my mind right and focus on God, focus on the day, focus on His protection and His love. You know what I mean? So I feel like if I start off each day and end each day on that note, then I feel like during the day it'll make it a lot easier, no matter what decision, what challenge I'm faced with. You know what I mean? So, um, for me, I feel like it's been a process, don't get me wrong, but throughout the process it's been getting easier and easier only because, like I said, I have been putting in the effort, putting in the work, to draw closer to God, you know what I mean? So just so I could, understand the signs, everything that He's trying to tell me and everything. And for me, I feel like it's real important, to go to God, like I said, on a daily basis, not just when you need something, you know what I mean? So because a lot of times the devil could give you blessings in disguise as well, you know what I mean, and you don't know if it's from God or from the devil. So that's why it's important to know who you are, to have a relationship with God as well, because a little bit like you were talking about, if it aligns with God, then you know that it would bring you peace and everything would just flow real like peacefully, like real good. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be any confusion, any doubt, any fear, any of that. You know what I mean? If it's from God, So that's how I always just try to approach things and look at it.
I love that, bro. I honestly feel like everything you're saying, I could just like keep asking you question after question after question, but I know I have to stop eventually. But like, I love what you said, so in terms of nurturing your relationship with God, you said, you can't just go to Him when you need things, bro. It's like messed up, bro. Like, even with our other friends here, like on Earth and family members, like no one likes the person who just goes to people when they need stuff.
Exactly.
Like for me, approaching my mid 20s and um, I when I still try to be a good son, right? I'll call my parents and a little while ago, I was like, dang, I feel like, unfortunately, sometimes when I reach out to my parents, most of the time it's when I need something. So, to take some action in my life, I just called my parents and I was like, didn't need anything, just wanted to say, how you doing? How's life? How's your health? How's this? And I just had that thought driving home from work one day, just don't be that person that calls people when they need someone. And I think you're completely right. That's what we have to do when we turn to God, right? You can't just reach out to Him when you need something, nurture that relationship. Just talk to Him to talk to Him sometimes. Thank Him
Exactly.
and then show it through action too, not just
Because
all.
it's easy to go to them, and and when everything is good, and pray and everything is good. Most of the time, I feel like a lot of people don't even pray when things are good. You know what I mean? Because they're so wrapped up in their daily lives and everything like that, and then they a lot of times they only go to them, like they're faced with a problem and everything like that when they really need them. You know what I mean? So for me, this is something over my life that I've been learning. Because I've been doing the same thing. I'm not perfect, and that's how I was able to continue growing and continue learning because God is the most important person in my life, and I just wanted to continue getting closer and closer to Him. Now I didn't want to continue doing the same things that I was doing like the day before, the year before, and stuff like that. I just always wanted to continue evolving. You know what I mean? So um, that's what helps me, helps my family. That's what I preach to my son. That's what I preach to my students, players, and all of that. So I feel like we talked about before. If we do our part, even if it's just a little bit, then God, He can move mountains. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I love that. I love that, bro. it's cool to talk about the topic of nurturing your relationship with God. And one more thing I'd say to that is okay, so um like okay, so what helps me feel like what puts me in like an energy or something to either feel God's love. No, no, okay, this is what we were talking about. We were talking about preparing for a spiritual experience earlier, right? And
Yeah,
something that really helps me is kind of just prioritizing anything that will benefit your mindset or health. And what I mean by that is sometimes like I'm working from home and it's a lot of screen time. And something I even tried to do yesterday, and at first it honestly just kind of feels weird. If I feel like my to-do list is like getting bigger and I still have to do like house tasks, all this work stuff, physical health, so on and so forth. Like I don't even have a kid yet, and Jamal, like, sure that's triple everything. But as I'm feeling stressed out, I was like, I'm gonna go out and stand in the sun and get some sunlight for 5 minutes and like get off my phone. So I go out there, stand for 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, like I feel fresh. It's a beautiful day. I'm grateful to be alive. Show some gratitude to God. And then I come back and then like I'm in a just a little bit better state to get that to-do list going for 30 more minutes. And then after that, I'm like, I'm sitting here, my body feels tight from sitting. I'm gonna go stretch out for just 5 minutes.
yeah,
Come back. I'm like, okay, some deep breaths now. All right, let's take another call. So what I'm saying is like doing those little things, like maybe it's stretching, sunlight, getting a workout in. That honestly prepares me to have a spiritual experience. That works for me. Does that relate to you? Something
oh
like,
yeah, for sure, for sure. Everything that you just said does. Like I said, especially in the summertime, or when it's not as cold out, I love to be in the sunlight. You know what I mean? Especially, like I said, first thing in the morning, start just to connect with God, you know what I mean, just to tap in spiritually, So, like you said, it helped you, like align back to, yourself, you know what I mean? So that fact, it was able to, give you more energy and you were able to, get back to doing your task and everything like that. So I feel like you did all the necessary steps that you were supposed to do. And like you said, that's what I always, try to do too, whether it's like sunlight, working out, whatever it may be, you know what I mean? So yeah, I for sure tried to do all of those as well.
yeah, yeah. And then if like if I was seeking a big spiritual answer in my life, the point I was trying to make was like that can also be done when you're trying to experience something spiritual, right? Like if in the back of your mind you have this big question and you're just stressed, it's like, all right, try to do something to strengthen your mindset, something to prioritize your health. It'll clear your space. I feel like since you have a clear head, that might allow a little bit of space for God to inspire you in your mind.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Anytime you're getting overwhelmed or have fear, that's not the spirit of God. That's the devil, that's what he wants. So little things like that, like I said, just having sunlight, working out, just meditating, stretching, is just going to bring more peace to you and like I said, just align you, just bring you back, and centered with God.
Exactly, bro. And then Um, I agree. I think being overwhelmed is one of the things that will block that anxiety, and being overwhelmed are those feelings that will block you from God. And that's probably the devil's tools. So anything you can do to get away from that is a win. Those things are just distractions. So it just comes down at the end of the day, I feel like it comes down to cutting down those distractions as much as you possibly can, cutting them out. But Jamal, I know we got 5 minutes left before you got a dip about that. Um, Let's talk a little sports, man. We were right about the Ohio State and Notre Dame. We were.
Yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah.
I don't think we
I,
got the exact score right this time, but man, Ohio State came out and got the dub.
Well, you were right that, you thought that it wasn't going to be a close game. So I said it was going to be, I think, like 28-21 or something like that. I think you said like 35-21. So you knew that it was going to be, kind of out of reach. But yeah, it was definitely a good game. Ohio State ended up, pulling it out. So that was, real big for them, for their program. Did you see LeBron at the game?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did. I saw LeBron rocking all this.
Yeah, that's dope. So yeah, that was pretty cool for them. Shout out to Notre Dame and stuff as well, though they had a terrific season. as well. I know it's always difficult to get, make it that far and, to lose a heartbreaking game like that, especially when you work that hard, during the season to prepare for it, but, at the end of the day, it can only be one winner. So, shout out to everybody that played, hopefully, the seniors or whoever, they, continue their career and stuff as well. So,
What's crazy, and I didn't think this till after the game, is that since this is the first year of the college football playoff with 12 teams,
yeah,
Ohio State and Notre Dame wouldn't even have been in it in any other year because it was seven or number seven versus number eight. So like they weren't even in the top four.
unheard of. Yeah,
Crazy.
I know.
Crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. But that's actually I feel like good for the sport only because I feel like every year then any team feel like they have the chance to win now. You know what I mean? So
It just goes to show that you have to take L's to learn in life because Ohio State earlier in the year they lost to Michigan, who had a bad year. They weren't that good. And then they lost to like Oregon as well earlier in the year. So Ohio State turned those two losses into a learning experience and they came out national champs. And then Notre Dame lost their first game of the year against Cincinnati, who isn't even, that good. And that everyone counted them out. And like if you lose your first game of the year against not a good team, no one will think you will make the championship. So like it just goes to show you can learn from bad things, from losses in your life, from failures.
yeah,
Um,
for sure. And I think that's something that we touched on before. That's why we love sports because it relates, to life so much. Like I said, in order to have any type of success, you have to go through some adversity. And I feel like that's what both teams, did this year. You know what I mean? So shout out to them, shout out to their players, for, not getting down. When they failed, they got back up. They didn't listen to, all the negativity and they just kept working hard. And I'm pretty sure, they kept God first because that's the only way they was able to, to make it that far. So
exactly. And then going right into the NBA, I think you said you really like him. The dude on the Thunder, is it what's his name?
SGA, yeah,
SGA. I
yeah,
saw he
Shay.
dropped 50 last night.
Told you, man, he's gonna be future MVP. I think he's the MVP of the season. I really do. I really do.
Sense. He's killing it. He's killing it. So the Thunder, they're best in the West so far. They're doing really good. Um,
Yeah, I can't see anyone beating them four times in the playoffs. The only team that I feel like that could have a chance to do it is maybe Denver. Denver has been playing really well in the West also again. So I feel like it's gonna be a great playoffs. Like I'm looking forward to it.
Me too, man. And then we got a couple days until the NFL. So on another episode, we got to make those predictions, but it'll be a fun NFL weekend. But first of all, rest in peace, college football, man. It was fun to watch you all year. It was fun. I'm not gonna lie, but got to move on. I watch basketball because college football is my favorite to watch.
Yeah, I
But
love college football.
I like basketball too. I like to have basketball on when I in the background while I'm just chilling at the house.
Really?
Yeah, I
To
think
be honest, I like to watch college sports more than I do like professional sports. I know it sounds like a little crazy or whatever, but I just feel like college athletes they play like a little bit harder because they're trying to make it, to the pros. So I just love, the competition of, the college athletes.
yeah, I get that. For me, it depends on the sport. For me, if college football, I like to watch more than the NFL.
Yeah.
Baseball, college baseball, I could care less about watching. I don't care at all to watch college baseball. And if MLB, I only like the playoffs, but
Okay.
I'm picky. I don't know.
That's how it is with me in the NBA. I kind of really only like the playoffs because I feel like that's when they really play the hardest. You know what I mean? I feel like during the season, I'm not saying they're just going through the motions or whatever, but I just feel like they're really, they take it up a notch, in the playoffs. They play harder defense, the game slows down a little bit, so it's more strategic, so that's the part of the game that I like.
For sure. Yeah, no, I get that. And then to end it with sports, the Clippers, because I know you might go out there or you got some good relationships with people out there. And we had a former
Yeah,
Clippers player on. Shout out to Hank. Uh,
yeah.
the Clippers had seven injured players last night, bro. Like everyone on their team was injured. Just a random fact. But I think they took the L too to the Mavericks, if I'm not wrong. I don't know though.
Yeah, man. It's crazy how so many people, like so many players are getting injured these days. I don't, and especially with all the, the new technology and everything that we have. So,
Right.
I wonder why that is. I feel like, players are getting injured more now than they were back in the day. The only good thing about it, in my opinion, I feel like they're able to bounce back quicker, like the recovery time, rather than, before. You could have an injury before and it could be like a career-ending injury, and now they come back in like a couple months, like, so
Like Aaron Rodgers too with football and tourniquet.
yeah, yeah. And even what didn't Adrian Peterson when he tore his ACL
I think so.
like
Like
years back. Yeah. So
back quicker than normal, which is crazy. But yeah, man, I know we gotta go on, do some more things today. So Jamal, it's good to talk to you. Everybody, there's a lot of takeaways from the spiritual part, about nurturing your relationship with God. So do what you got to do to take care of your mind, your spirituality, and your body. Any specific call to action to end, Jamal, that you're feeling?
like, yeah, I would just say, like, if you're feeling overwhelmed, like stressed out and stuff like that, in order to get back centered, like I said, just try to pray about it. That's the only way I feel like that, it could help you. Like you were talking about earlier, also try to get sunlight, work out, just little things like that, to just help you get back aligned. Just because you have like a bad, day or a bad, few minutes, doesn't mean, it's the end of the world. You know what I mean? You still have more time to, change your mindset, your day around. You can turn it around and everything like that. But like I said, it starts with your mindset. So it's just about like how you look at everything. So if you pray, that's what I say. Just even if I feel like if you can't pray or whatever, which sound crazy, I feel like you could pray at any time. Whether you're driving, you're at home whenever, but try to, like, just get closer to God, whether that's listening, spiritual podcasts like ours, so or anything. Just the more and more you hear the word, I feel like, the more it will bring you peace, the less stressed you will be.
I love that. I love that. Stay prayed up. Stay prayed up. In other words, baby. Let's
Yeah,
go.
for real. Stay prayed up.
Oh,
Finish the week strong. Let's go.
yes, sir. All right, Jamal. Well, you have a good one. Everybody, let's just be the best versions of ourselves every day, every single day. So, yeah, everybody have a good Thursday.